The casing of the independent thrust block is in two halves, and fitted bolts join the halves. Thrust pads, which pivot around the thrust collar surface, carry the thrust load. The pads are mounted in holders and coated with white metal. An oil deflector deflects the oil lifted by the thrust collar and directs the oil onto the top cover. Oil from the top cover cascades over the thrust pads, bearings, and falls back into the sump. The top cover acts as a pad stop. The thrust shaft transmits the thrust onto the thrust collar. Hydrodynamic fluid film wedge separates the thrust pads and thrust collar. The thrust pad transmits thrust to the lower half of the casing. The lower half of the casing is connected to the ship's hull. The ship moves when the thrust is transmitted to the ship's hull.